Hi Virgo, this is Carrie at wooingnature.life, and this is your reading for June. I hope you're well. I hope everything is going smoothly. And we're going to take a look at the cards today and see just how smooth it's going, okay? I'm going to be reading from the Sibyl's Oraculum today, which is going to give us some core issues to think about, or some core focal points, a couple of core issues, things that we can dig into a little bit as far as our emotional self, or as far as your personal journey is concerned. So I'm going to take a look at those, and then I am also going to be reading from Deborah Koff Chapin's The Soul Cards 1 deck, not the 2 deck. For those of you who are familiar, she has 1 and 2. I'm also going to be reading from the Steampunk Tarot, and that's going to be in relationship to work. So I'm focusing on work for everybody for the month of June. That seems to be the focus there. We focused a little bit more on relationships last month, so we're going to focus on work and career and entrepreneurial efforts, any kind of projects, things like that. We're going to focus on that for the month of June. And then I'm going to close with the animal cards, and we're going to pull some animal cards for you and see what kind of animals are speaking to you, okay? So I'll get started with Sibyl's first. Sibyl's is a divination system that is based on the oracles and teachings of African women. It's based on an ancient system, or a few ancient systems, so it's really different. It's a 44 card deck, and basically there's 4 sets of cards that you pull, so it's a 4-card reading every time, and each one of the cards kind of leads to the next aspect of the core issue or fundamental issue, and then it gives you some directives or things that you can do too. The last 2 cards are about internal directives, and then external directives is the way that I interpret it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull one from each section so that we can focus on that. Okay, we've got unity here. Unity, that which unifies, that which brings you together, and then also what brings you in connection, or into a connection with someone else, is what I'm feeling here. And then we have justice, which is what is fair, what is right, that which is equitable. So when you're dealing, what I'm getting here, and again, I am reading these particular cards straight intuitive, because there's a whole nother system to this divination system. It's a whole nother set of things. It's like a book, and there's readings from each book, and then you have to tie all 4 cards together. So I'm doing this straight intuitive for the sake of this reading. But if you want to get a little deeper and you want to do the whole thing, which is pretty involved, then I can do that for you, and I'll leave that information in the box. But what I am getting is that this is about it is about relationships. It is about what happens when you get together in relationships, and it's about what is fair, what is right, and what is equitable in the relationship. So equity in relationships is something that you may need to focus on, all right? And as far as the doing cards, or I'm going to call them the action cards, nurturing is one thing. So you need to nurture yourself. You also want to pay attention to what habits you're nurturing as well, too. But this is about nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, and also taking care of others, because again, we're talking about groups of people here. You're going to be connecting, Virgo. You're going to be connecting. And this is interesting because the next card is about detachment. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So what I'm getting in general here is that this is about your relationships with other people, how you are relating to others. Those people that share either common ideals, common goals, common efforts, could be a work situation, but it could also be just relationships in general, because the people that you are relating to, they're a part of your pack. They're a part of your spiritual pack and pact. So you'll want to pay attention to those folks. And this is justice to me in this case is about following your heart. It's about following what you feel. But when you're dealing with other people, you have to include theirs too. So I'm still getting that equanimity thing here. So then this combination of nurturing and detachment is really significant, especially when you're dealing with people, and especially if you're dealing with lots of people at one time. You have to know how to care without attaching. So the two things that you're focusing on is nurturing without attaching, caring without getting overly involved. Interesting. Love that. That's a great lesson, Virgo. It really is. It's a fantastic lesson. I'm still getting the equanimity in the relationship. That's not going away. I was just asking about that a second ago. This is a transformative process for you. This is something that's going to really change the game for you. So you can look for June to be kind of a game-changing phase for you, where you're going to really see a different side of yourself, and you're also going to see yourself grow through this process. Virgo, I like it. It's going to seem a little scary to you. It is. It's going to take some letting go on your part. But you just got to remember what would be fair. Like, put yourself in other people's situations and ask what would be fair, what would be right. And that's going to make some sense to you. Some people may be involved in justice, may be involved in the legal arena, or you could also be in the nursing arena, okay? But whatever it is, the lesson is about conjoining. What happens when you bring everybody together? Everybody needs to, you're going to be part of a bigger group, a bigger conglomerate, and it's going to probably challenge you in a lot of ways, but it's okay. Challenges are good. All right, we're moving right along to the soul cards. Soul cards I like. These are purely intuitive cards here. They're not associated with a number system, particular number system. They're not associated with the tarot. They're just good art in a deck that really draws into the intuitive, and I really like working with these a lot. This is one of my oldest decks, matter of fact. One of my older decks. Alright, so we're just going to pull 3 cards for Virgo for the month of June. 3 cards for Virgo month of June. Just so we can get a focus, an emotional focus, a spiritual focus of sorts. Alright, got it going here. Beautiful. Alright, so Virgo, I've got you really, really getting inside yourself. You're really going inside. You're nurturing a part of yourself that you haven't nurtured before. And you're discovering things about yourself. You may be discovering things about yourself through another person, but ultimately you're discovering things about yourself. That's the goal. That's the focus. So whatever interactions you are having with people, it really is about you learning about yourself more than anything. This is a spiritual journey for you. This is you learning the ways that you fly. It's not even about you learning how to fly. It's about learning the ways that you fly, because you do have your own flight pattern, Virgo. And you're letting go and learning to embrace that a little bit more. I have you here going deep, going away. You could be going away from a situation, or pulling yourself away from the fray. Now that goes with that detachment, and also goes with that unifying principle, you are going to be making connections with people again. I think you right now you may be kind of underground a little bit, but you're growing from that place, and what you're doing in the underground space is going to reveal itself or going to show itself outside, you know, like what you're doing on the inside is going to show itself in what happens on the outside. So just remember that, you know, you may be going through a struggle right now. It may seem difficult. You might feel like you're under the gun even, but you're not really. What you're doing is you're nurturing the seed that's you, you know. You're a seed in the ground and you're nurturing yourself. And it's going to reveal itself on the outside. You're not just doing this inner work just to just keep wandering around in the inner world. It's going to reveal itself in the way that you, in your work or in what you present to the world, what you're creating or what you present out in the world is going to be affected by the work that you're doing on the underground, on yourself. That's just evident. I mean, to me, that's like a no-brainer. That just happens. You know what I'm saying? What you do on the inside is reflected on the outside. Okay, not vice versa. So anyway, we've got this relationship connection. There's a connection, I feel, between you and another person that is forming and developing. You have your vision, they have their vision, and then there's the part where the two connect. Okay? That's a good, solid relationship there. But you have to retain your vision. And he has to retain, or the other partner has to retain their vision. Okay? And then there's the point at which you meet. So the meeting point, the meeting point here is what you really don't have to focus on that part, Virgo, at all. It will just be there. It'll just be. Okay? But the main thing is you've got to stay focused on your vision, and then the other person stays focused on theirs. Because when you start to try to mix it up too much is when that's when it starts being over the top. But that's the ideal. And so I'm getting a relationship there. But there's this process, I think. All of this is, again, creating the dynamic that you're going to see in the month of June. So if you're already in a relationship, you may start to see, if you're already in a relationship, you might start to see how this can happen for you in the current relationship. If you're not able to achieve that balance in the current relationship, then you'll be making some decisions about whether to stay or to go. And then if you are searching for a relationship, that's the dynamic that you're looking for. Because you got to know what you're looking for if you want to get somewhere, right? You know, you got to know what you're looking for. A lot of times we don't know what we're looking for. That's the issue. You know, we think we're looking for something, and that's not what you need to be looking for. That's not what you need to be focused on. That's not even something to focus on, right? You're not, if you're going to have a committed long-term relationship, if that's what you're looking for. Sometimes people don't want that. That's fine. All right, we're going on to the tarot. I like to include the tarot in all the readings because the tarot gives us a little more in depth. It allows us to go a little deeper into ourselves, and also gives us a little more details about our day-to-day living, day-to-day life. Some of those little details. So I like to go to the tarot for the detail. And the detailing today is going to be centered around work, though, for us. Virgo, for you.